going to talk about a topic that was requested here was how to land high-paying customers. So I think it's important to obviously have that goal in your business if that's what you're looking for. High-paying customers are nice. They are usually less stressful than low-paying customers because they're understanding of waiting for a service to be done properly. But everyone wants these high-paying customers, but you can't just go out and find them. You kind of have to groom your business and grow to the point that high-paying customers are attracted to what you're offering them. So with that being said, I put together some ideas and some notes and some thoughts on ways that you can attract high-paying customers if that's the kind of the target demographic you're looking for. So I'd like to go through those with you now. Part one of that would be really trying to identify if that's the actual customer you want. High-paying customers, like I said, are nice because they pay you a lot of money, and that's kind of one of the main functions of your business. You have to get revenue in order to do other things. It's nice to have that one customer who's willing to pay you a higher dollar amount than 3 other customers. But with that, the stakes are usually higher. They have higher demands. You have to produce a higher quality product. But when you're able to produce a high quality product with a higher paying customer, you have to deal with less customers because each one of those customers is worth what 3 of the cheaper customers would be. So it allows you to kind of spend more time on each customer, and it allows you to kind of level up your service even better. That being said, you have to really commit to having a service that caters toward high-paying clients. You really can't offer a type of company that offers options for low budget and for high budget, because it gets people confused as far as what they're looking for from you when they come to you. So your company is going to have a reputation. You want it to be either you provide budget-friendly services or really high quality, high dollar services, but people get what they pay for. When you start getting to a point where you kind of mix your messages back and forth, it makes it a little muddy as far as people don't know necessarily what kind of service they're going to get from you, and that's when it gets, like I said, a little bit muddy. So definitely the first thing I would say there is trying to identify if high-paying customers are really who you want to cater to, because you kind of have to commit to that. So let's say that high-paying customers are where you want your company to be. Getting them is a process, right? So you're not just going to open your doors and then people are going to come tomorrow spending lots of money with you. You kind of have to build a reputation first. So one of the best ways to do it, and this might sound weird, is starting off with lower services, starting off with either free or heavily discounted service towards some customers to start building that reputation and honing your skill. When I first started J. Lewis, the very first website we did, actually did for free, gave it away. The customer that I worked with at the time, I still work with today, and they've since given us a ton of referrals, but it was a way for us to get our foot in the door with somebody, get them as a referral, and from that experience, we were able to build a really good reputation, and we always kind of did the right thing by them, so they were more inclined to give us other referrals. And it just kind of, when you do the right thing for people and you always treat them properly, it usually comes back around in your favor. So the other good part of that is if you're in a position where you can kind of offer services at somewhat of a discount to kind of get your feet wet with it, it'll also allow you to build up a pretty decent portfolio so that later on in the business, when you do get those customers coming to check you out and you check out your portfolio, they don't know necessarily what those previous customers paid. They can only see the quality of your product and the awesome 5-star review that you got from the first customer. So what I recommend there is if you're looking to play the long game and have a service business where you sell to high dollar customers, you can start small start with lesser services that you know you can handle, knock out, get those customers in, get those awesome reviews, get that experience under your belt, and then that way once you start pitching to those high value customers, they're going to go in and they're going to see all those awesome reviews and all that awesome work that you've done without knowing what the price is, and they'll just associate the price that they're paying as the price that those other people paid. So that's probably step one of what I would think to do. Another important thing to consider here is being willing to say no. So if you're trying to attract a bunch of high dollar customers, one of the things you don't want to do is say yes to every job that comes your way, because what's going to happen is you're going to get jobs in your pipeline that aren't going to fit your ideal customer, and they're going to clutter you up for dealing with the right customer. So obviously, like, you need to pay your bills and you need to keep food on the table. I get that part, but what you have to be careful of is you don't want to start taking in lower quality clients and then getting your pipeline so filled up with low quality crap work just to put food on the table that you get too far away from what your actual core demographic is and catering to those high dollar customers, because when they come around, they're going to require a little bit more attention, and your attention is going to be split between these 7 cheap crappy customers compared to that one that you really want, and you're not going to be able to cater to them as well as you should. So just important to consider not getting too ahead of yourself. Once you do start getting those high dollar customers, one of the things that you're going to want to do is make sure you over deliver. I know, like, it's great to say under promise, over deliver, but you really do have to do it. They're not going to remember as much as how long it took, the details and stuff. They're going to remember like the end result, and if the end result is awesome, everything else won't matter, and they'll be that much more likely to refer you to other people. So I know it kind of sounds cliche, but when you're able to go the extra mile for a customer, and even if it's a small thing, whether it's let's say you detail cars and they paid you for an exterior detail, but when they come to pick it up, you say, hey, while it was here, we wiped out and cleaned out the interior, no problem, I took care of it at my cost. It might have taken you an extra 20 minutes and you might not charge them for it, but it makes them feel like that much more appreciated, and that you really value them as a customer that much more. And it's a small thing that kind of goes a big way in dealing with that type of customer. Other thing that's kind of related, make sure you over communicate with this type of customer. High paying customers typically value time more than money. So what they don't want to do is they don't want to have you waste their time. So what I mean by that is, if you're having delays, if there's a scheduling problem, if there is whatever, make sure you communicate with them as early and often as possible. Even just like a regular status check-in, just to say, hey, we're still working on it, just wanted to keep you posted. They like that aspect of touching base and feeling heard. So that's definitely something I would recommend as well. Outside of that, I think the only other thing I have to mention is talking the talk, walking the walk, and being where that customer is going to be. So that high-paying customer is going to hang out at a certain spot. If you ever spent any amount of time at either a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks, you understand that the people who go in those two stores are a different demographic of people. So if you're looking to sell a certain product to a certain person, you have to put your company in front of that person in order to get the best results. Right? So if you're looking to sell a really fancy caramel macchiato type of drink, the coffee could be the same at both places, but they're going to pay more at Starbucks just because of the name and the reputation, and that's where that customer goes. That being said, on the same thing of your business, if you are trying to sell a service and you're trying to attract a high-paying customer, you want to be where that customer is and where they're looking, and when they find you, you want to make sure that you give them a very polished product, right? So they don't want to see they're coming to you for a higher value service, they don't want to see a crappy website or dirty business cards. They want to see things that remind them that they're getting what they paid for. So make sure that you position yourself and your business in front of where you want your ideal customer from, and then just do the right thing. That's probably the last bit of advice I can give you on this topic is when you're dealing with any customer, high-paying customers especially, but any customer, is do the right thing no matter what the cost. And it doesn't matter if you have to eat 5 hours of your time or you have to not charge them for something because you guys messed up. Doing the right thing by your customer is always going to come back to your benefit. It's very tempting at times to be like, you're in a bad situation and you really need the money, so you want to charge them an extra 3 hours of labor for something that took you guys 6 hours of time, so let me at least get my $300 out of it. But you wind up getting your $300 and then you lose them as a customer for life because they feel like you took advantage of them. So it's important to play the long game there and not just get that high-paying customer and milk them for all they're worth because they have the money. All too often you're going to get that customer in the door in your business. You'll get them as a customer one time, but if you don't make them feel appreciated, if you don't do the right thing, if you don't take care of them, they're gone. So it's important to figure out how to get them in the door, figure out how to service them properly, and then figure out how to keep them coming back. So all things considered, I think that kind of outlines all the different bullet points you need to know on the topic. Obviously, there's way more stuff we can talk about, but let's start there for now. And if you guys have any questions on that topic, feel free to get in touch, and I'm always happy to help.